All right, so Bears game, big one. They look to extend their winning streak to 4 games. Everyone wants to know if Jayden's going to play. It was reported yesterday they didn't practice again. Adam Schefter said, kind of tweeted or retweeted John Keim or something to that extent that they're going to try to attempt to have him practice today. So that is encouraging. I'm a little thrown by him not practicing in 2 days. Maybe they're just thinking, all right, 2 days of like kind of nothing. Let's let him really, really heal. Let's see what he's got.
Mental reps, EB. Mental reps.
Yeah, mental reps. But I think if he doesn't practice today, I find it hard to believe that they can rest him, and then go through pregame little ritual and say, okay, good enough. He's a rookie. I don't think you want to throw him into the fire like that.
You got to have him on the practice field.
He needs some reps
to go through game plan.
Practice in a limited fashion today.
Right.
Like if Aaron Rodgers he's not playing.
Could not practice all week.
Yeah.
And then looks good enough in pregame. He's had the experience. Mm-hmm. You trust him. You play him. I'm sure a rookie, you do that.
Yeah, I think a rookie you got to have out there on the field.
You got to have the field. So today will be a critical day.
Yeah. Have you seen the Aaron Rodgers comparison to what they had last year?
I have not.
In
what are they saying?
Zach Wilson?
Similar?
Zach Wilson was superior.
Yeah.
They were winning more. Stats were similar.
Yeah.
2-5 start for Aaron Rodgers.
He's done.
Disaster.
He's done, Ski.
I hope he turns it around. But he just looks slow. It's weird.
Yeah.
He looks weird. It's been difficult for him to come back.
Just think about how much criticism Zach Wilson took.
Sure. Well, I mean, I don't think I certainly didn't expect Rodgers to look kind of awkward as he has at times. He's also had some big plays, but he's not the same guy that he was at the peak of his powers.
And no one thought he would be.
I thought he'd be pretty good.
I thought. Well, I didn't think he'd be this bad. I just didn't. I knew coming off that injury, he wasn't going to be the same player.
If there's a real bounce back spot for him, it's this weekend against the Patriots.
It's getting an hour and every time.
He should have a good game against the Patriots. If he doesn't throw for like 225 yards and a touchdown or two against the Patriots, then you really have to start worrying about what's going on.
All right, so let me just kind of break down the matchup a little bit, and you look at sort of what Chicago has to offer. Caleb's coming around. Obviously, everybody's saying glowing things about him. I watched the Kingsbury presser, and he talked about how he worked with him. I mean, Kingsbury's resume is actually absurd. Mm-hmm. The fact he referenced the quarterback at Texas Tech that he had, Cakes, Caleb, Kyler. Now he's working with Jayden. He's had some fantastic quarterbacks.
Do you think he's worked with Joe Witt this week to give him how to beat Caleb Williams tips?
That was my thought.
I'm sure he has.
This is what makes him more uncomfortable.
I'm sure
those kinds of things.
That was your thought when Kyler played.
Yes. I would think, I mean, if they don't do that, that's crazy to me, but who knows? I mean, Joe Witt's a very competent guy, man. I watch his pressers too, and he's just a no-nonsense kind of guy.
But he seems like he'd be collaborative. Like if Cliff wanted to meet with him and say, hey, this is how we attack, or you should attack Caleb Williams, give him the Cliff Notes version.
Bears have the 5th best defense in the NFL. That's something to look at.
Well, I'm more worried about sort of our defense against their offense. Mm-hmm. DeAndre Swift was a big pickup for them. He's not averaging a ton of yards per carry, but we all know the explosion that he has. He has 3 rushing touchdowns for them.
He's also effective in the receiving game.
Right, the receiving game.
He's kind of like Austin Eckler.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's not as impactful as Eckler when he was at his peak, but he's got that same sort of skill set.
Yeah, and he's been doing, last 3 weeks, he's been doing work.
He's been on fire. Yeah.
Receivers, obviously, we know DJ Moore. He's the one that got the deal in the offseason. He's their leading receiver, I believe, with 31 catches on 47 targets. Cole Kmet, their tight end. Everybody likes to use a tight end these days. He's their top guy there. Both those guys each have 3 touchdowns. The rookie that everybody really liked, I know that the Giants were strongly considering Rome Odunze. Yep. He's got 17 catches for 246 yards, just 1 touchdown, but you feel like he's ready to break out anytime. Of course, they still have Keenan Allen. Is he healthy, Cakes?
He's had issues. He had like a heel
only played
issue
in 4 games.
That sidelined him for a couple games.
He started out banged up, but he's been playing the last few weeks.
DeAndre Carter, former Skin, who's there. He's played in 6 games. Only had a few catches, but we all know that he's a possession guy that can hurt you. So they certainly have some weapons. And then, as JP mentioned, defensively, I think they're only giving up 16.8 points per game. Which
schedule's been light.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, you got to beat who's on your schedule if they're bad.
Right. If you want to attack them, let me see where they are in terms of, so passing-wise, defensively, they're giving up 180 yards per game. Rushing-wise, they're giving up 112. Let me see where that ranks.
Yeah, I'll tell you, too.
For rushing-wise. It looks like it's in a
middle of the pack.
12, 13, something like that. Commanders are giving up 131 yards.
Let's look at some of the quarterbacks that the Bears have faced so far. They faced Will Levis in Week 1.
He is terrible. Okay, Jason, I give you credit for that. I like to credit myself often, because no one will ever credit me. Literally, no one ever.
So you have to do it yourself.
So I have to do it myself
at all times.
But I will credit you, unlike you never credit me. I credit you for calling out Will Levis years ago.
Yes,
so I've just always gone with that.
All right, so that was their Week 1
He's
opponent.
Terrible.
Week 2, they faced C.J. Stroud. Okay, he's a legit.
He's good.
They faced Anthony Richardson in Week 3.
Up in the air on him.
He's been dreadful. I was an Anthony Richardson truther. He's been dreadful.
Was that a game that he finished? Or was that a game he got hurt and Flacco came in?
I'm not sure. I'd have to double-check the box. They faced Stafford without Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp.
True.
And they faced Andy Dalton and Trevor Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they're most likely going to face Marcus Mariota this weekend, I think. I'm guessing it's like 80-20 at this point.
Is that what you really think?
Oh, I think so.
So if Jayden practices today, what if he gets through a full... My guess is they're going to say limited.
Limited practice today.
If
he practices.
He's going to practice. Because they're going to try to, and he's not going to say no.
Mm-hmm.
So if they say limited, where do you bet? If they say Jayden practiced today, he was
no
limited.
Practice, no
50-50.
practice, limited. Yeah.
And then,
game time decision.
Then I go up to 60-40 that he does play.
I agree.
That they're going to grasp.
If he's limited today, I'm putting my money on that kid's playing.
Well, it depends on what limited means, though.
Limited.
We don't know what it means.
I mean, is he going through, full speed against the defense, or is he just throwing on the side?
B-Mitch said something funny.
And just running.
I was listening to him when I was driving. He said something funny that, so I guess when the media was out there, maybe it was on Wednesday, and they all reported, Jayden's not practicing today. They don't see him. And then he said, yeah, but when they left, he ran out of the woods.
Yeah. It's a funny bit.
Then he got out on the field.
It's a great bit.
So who knows?
I think they're going to win with Mariota. If they go with Mariota.
Win either way.
My initial instinct was Jayden's going to play.
Right.
A little more incentive. Even though they don't want to say it, a little more incentive. He's going up against Caleb Williams. I'm kind of on the fence now, just based on he hasn't practiced the last 2 days. So we may hear today. We may hear today he didn't practice, and they're playing. If
he didn't practice today, it's definitely
if Mariota plays. B-Rob better have. He better have a big one. Yeah. He better have like 120 rushing yard type of day.
But I'm not
to win that game.
Overly impressed with the Bears. Caleb's been playing better, no doubt about it. Their offense has improved. Their defense is pretty good, but you got to look at the opponents. Cakes keeps mentioning the quarterbacks they faced. You have to look at those things. And then I said this the other day when I did the Ref the District podcast, and this is kind of an EB-ism in a way. I just look at Matt Eberflus. This doesn't look like a 5-2 coach.
He just looks like a loser.
He doeses't look like a 5-2 coach.
He just looks like a donk that's going to wind up being.
Well, they're only 4-2. So
I know
to get to 5-2.
Right. So 4-3.
I think
maybe
DeAndre is going to give him problems.
Probably is.
I think he's a dynamic
just
player.
because he's versatile, he's dynamic. Yeah. Exactly. He's obviously given him problems before. When
he
did
a good job on Chuba.
But
but they had to get away from it. See
this team is just a much better, efficient team than Carolina.
Turnover, like Dante Fowler thing, which, by the way, who's sneaky, has I think 4.5 sacks already.
He does, yeah.
No one's talking about him. He's got 4.5.
He has more sacks combined than Sweat and Chase Young.
Right.
They have 4 sacks.
What was your interpretation of Kingsbury talking about Caleb? Do you think if they had the choice, to take either Caleb or Jayden, they would have taken Jayden, or would they have taken Caleb?
I would have taken Jayden just because of the fingernails.
I know, but
no, he's
if
asking
the
what,
team,
I know.
like, there's been like this discussion. Well, Kingsbury wanted Jayden. That's who he wanted.
I know,
but
I'm
I mean,
never
he
going to be
spoke
honest with you.
glowingly about Caleb.
I think he's being cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not going
I know you're supposed to praise your opponent.
Yeah, you're not. Last thing you're going to do is trash him.
But I think he was honest. Like when he was talking about he has the ability to make these Mahomes-like plays.
Yeah, he says a lot of the things the guy at Texas Tech did for me. Yeah. Believe me, the thought crossed my mind. Who was number one on their board?
We'll never know.
I don't think we're ever going to know. I just don't know. It depends on how they like his personality.
They knew that Caleb was going number one is the thing. Right. So it really wasn't a consideration.
Well, it is because you can always trade up. Like if teams like both, like they're pretty similar. Like turns out they're pretty similar. You might have a preference one or the other. You might be able to pull off a trade if you really loved one.
I know who wishes he traded up. His name's Joe Shane. He works in New York. He wishes he got into the top 3, but he couldn't. He was desperate to. Couldn't.
Right.
His son was begging him to move up and draft Jayden Daniels.
Can I give you a couple quick, just little nuggets? So it's the first time the Bears, it's their best record since 2020 when they started 5-1. That year, though, they swooned to an 8-8 finish. Obviously, something that Washington's trying to avoid. Chicago's won three in a row. They're looking to win 4 in a row. They've not won 4 in a row since 2018. They've gotten 5 touchdowns from their offense in each of their past 2 games, Cakes. That's a lot. DJ Moore, as Jason mentioned, 8 passes, 230 yards.
My counter would be
against us last year.
Carolina and Jacksonville. That's why you're scoring at such a prolific clip.
My counter would be, who's got the most points in the NFL?
It's tied with the Ravens. Ravens and Commanders.
Right.
I know, but it's not the Bears.
I know it's not the Bears.
So you're just 100% convinced.
No, I told you with Mariota, I'm 50.1% on the side of the Commanders winning.
Okay.
By the way, to be fair, if you go back to the tape, because everyone always murders me, that's how I was on Carson. 50.1. I said I'm marginally, but everyone thinks I was 100% on Carson. I was 50.1, and then I just embraced him and rooted for him.
Speaking of close,
I'm just stuck with him a lot longer than most people.
That's true.
That's the thing.
I was rooting for him to be right.
The matchup predictor on ESPN right now.
Yeah.
Bears 49.7%. Commanders 49.9%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
it's a dead even coin flip.
I'm just going to go on the record. If he practices limited, he's playing. Anybody want to take that? If you practice, if he's limited,
I'll take that.
I'll bet $1.
Put it in the new bet book. The new and improved bet book.
So if he practices at all, you think he's starting?
The minimum junks bet is now $2.
Oh, sorry,
$2.
$2.
That really hurts me.
So if he doesn't practice, it bets off.
Correct.
You should have your $2 from Terrence, the listener, gave us the envelope full of $2 bills.
No, I'm actually I'm bitter because Eric said he spent it.
Hold on, I think I got mine.
I just gave Cakes $2.
The cart girl.
I got mine right here. Look at this. Look at these. In plastic
Why are
containers,
yours laminated?
I don't know. This is how he sent them to me.
I didn't get laminated ones.
You sent them in an envelope.
Plus Cakes, you forgot the one I just gave you. Here.
These are pristine right here. Pristine $2 bills.
Girl. I had a tip.
Here, let me stuff this in a plastic container so it doesn't get. It's already wrinkled. Straighten this thing out.